Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. This is Marvel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Guys, you already know the reason I'm doing this live stream is because outside of the subject that I uh, discuss on my YouTube channel, our country, the Democratic Republic of Congo, is going through one of the most critical time of its history. All right. So as Congolese, I feel the obligation to be more involved and engage myself in conversations to try to shed light and have more conversations with other fellow Congolese who feel the same way, at least how I feel, or probably how most Congolese feel. All right. So Congo is being under aggression for more than 3 decades now. The international community is somehow accomplice to this. They will say something to please the public opinion, but then the actions that are conducted on the ground, it is far from what they preach about. So I feel that it's very important we learn history, we understand what's happening in Congo, so that we can successfully and efficiently address this problem once for all. I feel as though the current Congolese government is doing a great job, unlike the previous regime who didn't care about war in eastern region of Congo. All right, let me tell you something. This is my own personal observation. You may make your own judgment, but this is my personal opinion. M23 was never defeated by the previous regime. M23 got exactly what they've always wanted, which was to occupy territories of Congo, exploit natural resources that would be that will be exported through to Rwanda. From Rwanda, all multinationals that are purchasing these resources, they go grab them from Rwanda and they are distributed to multiple other countries from there. You know how I know this? Because in Paul Kagame's recent statements, he actually said that they continue to blame Rwanda, but what about all these other countries that also come and get these resources from Rwanda? He named multiple countries, so you can go back. Those videos are trending on the internet. I don't really have time to play the clips of the guy because looking at his face just makes my blood boil. All right. Let me get something straight. Let me clarify something right off the bat before this conversation goes a little further, right? I have anything against Rwandan people. Rwanda, Rwandan and its people have nothing against them. But I have a very serious problem with their regime that is brutal and has imperialistic goals. Guys, believe it or not, these type of behavior will never fly in Africa. Africa will have to be united. Africa will have to be one. We could have more Pan-Africanism, Pan-African conversations on the future of Africa. What we would want Africa to look like moving forward. And these Western powers, they know the potential power of Congo. If today is Congo is free, chances are Africa will more likely be free. All of the neighboring countries of Congo, they will benefit from Congo emergence. All of these countries, they will do business with Congo and everybody will come out a winner. Because they don't want us to take full advantage of our natural resources, they're always involved into conflicts. They're always involved into destabilizing regions and raging wars everywhere in the continent of Africa or in any African countries that have plethora of natural resources. Okay, so this is the tactics that they've always used, and that's how colonialism had made these countries wealthier than they have ever been, through exploitation of the continent of Africa. And yet they have the nerve to tell us what we need to do or how we need to define our future. That's why shame on all African leaders that are continuing to buy Western lies. All right, us as populations, we don't need to be highly educated. educated to understand the dynamic of what is happening in Africa right now. The war in Congo is benefiting a lot of countries but Congolese themselves. There are Congolese officials who got themselves involved into this wrongdoing. But I am so glad that the current administration, they have a very different stance when it comes down to Congolese who are named or who have been mentioned in numerous reports, allegedly that directly involve them into exploiting or creating instability against their people of Congo. And I am glad that the severity of prosecutorial actions taken against them is going to send a message to those that are either planning on joining these negative groups or are already into these groups, to make them think twice and probably do the right thing and get out of this wrongdoing once for all, and leaving space to the Congolese government, making it possible for us to exploit our resources and partner with people who actually want to do business with us. That's going to benefit them and benefit Congolese at the same time. You guys know the current president of Congo, President Tshisekedi. He's advocating for partnership that benefits both parties. Is more promoting partnerships that will bring both parties winners at the end of the day. All right. But what we have noticed since independence, or before even independence, is that Western countries they got the stronghold on resources of Africa. They getting like between 70, in some cases up to 90% of profits, and the countries where they're exploiting them from are only getting 10%. This is not enough to develop a country. This is not enough to distribute wealth with the local people. We have multiple reports showing how children are exploited, how exploited in Congo in mining sites. Children are deprived the opportunities to go to school. They are forced to go work in these mining sites to feed their family, and making these multinational corporations richer. Okay, so Rwanda is like the puppet that Western powers picked to do their dirty work. If you guys don't know, this is exactly what they've always done throughout history. They know that they can directly involve themselves into conflicts in outside of their borders. What they do basically is that they pick a country who is in a position of weakness. They use that country, they promise them resources, they promise them a financial independence in return to do their dirty work for them. In this case, the greatest example is Rwanda. Rwanda in itself, they're unable to do anything to harm Congo. Look at the size of Rwanda and look at the size of the Democratic Republic of Congo. It does not make any sense. If you put like both countries together, we may pick one province. We may pick one province in Congo is bigger than Rwanda in its entirety. And you want to tell me this country has the military capability to defeat Congo? You're out of your goddamn mind. They can combine Rwanda and Uganda military and use them against Congo. They will never win. And the only reason those military campaigns were launched in early 1990s, it was because the President Mobutu was already weakened by most of his allies. They have abandoned him. They wanted to destabilize Congo, so they wanted him to cooperate, but no president will ever sit back and actually allow this kind of things from happening. That's why Mobutu was toppled through Kabila. When Kabila became president, Kabila father, when he became president, he was also being forced to be submissive to these evil or behind closed doors contracts that they have signed that he thought was more ridiculous. And even when he signed these deals with the Rwandan army to give him the military support to kick out Mobutu out of power, it was unclear of certain things that they were claiming, right? After he gets there and these people start bringing what they actually wanted to get from Congo, is like, no, you got to be out of your mind if you expect me to leave, like give up territories just because you've helped us. Here is the bill. We're paying our debts that we owe you. Get the hell out of here. They didn't want to listen to that. And guess what they did? They went around different countries. They spent so much money lobbying to convince the international community that Tutsi as ethnic groups were being oppressed, they were in danger of genocide, and that they've used Hutus rhetoric to paint a picture saying that the Congolese government is militarily supporting Hutus activists to go topple the government of Kigali, who, by the way, is led by Paul Kagame. And they fell for it. Guess what they did? They gave them military support. They supported them in every way to destabilize Congo. Guess what happened? Congo was being attacked. Congo was under aggression, but then Congo was given arms embargo, so that they won't be able to defend themselves against these outside forces. This is all planned. They twist the history to make those that don't know the history believe that what is happening between Rwanda and Congo is actually truth, but the reality is far from the reality is far from the stories told by mainstream media. What is actually happening is that they've always wanted the balkanization of the eastern region of Congo. They actually want, technically, Rwanda, they know they don't have the power or nor the strength to occupy any of the Congolese territory. Like they know that for a fact. They can't. They don't have that sort of power. Like they can't. But because they are supported by United States, England, France, Germany, and almost all the G7 members combined, that is why they have they don't even have upper hand. They have more of the justification to continue to perpetrate instability in the eastern region of Congo, to facilitate the exports of our natural resources. So let me tell you exactly what's happening. The Congolese government does not even have control in certain territories that have been occupied for so many years by M23 rebel groups / RDF, the Rwanda National Defense National Army, right? So because of that, what actually happens is when there is war, local authorities, they do not have the power nor the capabilities to actually establish law and order, or to establish rules or regulate how tax must be paid to collect, taxes from the exploitation of natural resources. Thus, it is making it beneficial or profitable for them. They're extracting these resources. They're paying zero taxes because the cities or regions where these resources are taken from are not governed. They're under extreme instability, and it is benefiting them even more. These are the same tactics that were used during slavery. What happened during slavery? Slaves, they were actually working for free, making slave owners more than 100% of profit margins. And at the end of the day, to give them crumbs, something to eat to keep them strong throughout labor or work, and then the owner gets to profit a lot more. These are the same tactics that they used during slavery, except in 21st century, slavery have been banned for centuries now. So now, because they have to find different ways to practice that. Understand one thing: human lives or African lives don't matter to these lunatics. African lives don't matter to these imperialists. African lives don't matter for them if it means to fill up their coffers, if it means to make them richer and more powerful than ever before. So if you understand what's going on here, let me know in the comment section down below. All right, so give me a minute. I'm a little bit uncomfortable here. I'm actually driving to work, but I have to put this out there because what's happening now is bothering me. But I am gonna get into the Addis Ababa summit, a mini summit that's taking place as we speak, and a lot of countries were invited: Congo, Rwanda. These just to talk about peace in eastern region of Congo. So I'm gonna get into it in a minute, but just give me a moment to grab this comment that just popped up on my screen and see if I can answer what's going on here. Just bear with me. I'm streaming out of my cell phone, and I just need a little bit of the lights. So well, let me take my glasses off, because these glasses they automatically protect you from sun glare, and thus is turning the screen black, so I can barely see. Let me see here. I gotta be careful. What's happening? All right, hold on. Rwanda lives by donations. Oh, hell yeah. Preach, brother. Preach, preach, preach. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Something just is popping up on the screen that I don't know how to get rid of it. All right. Yeah, now I'm good. I'm good to go. All right. That is what they are doing in Ukraine. In Africa, Congolese, we have so many enemies. We have to deal with them. Absolutely. Rwanda lives in donations from. That is exactly like that's 100% true. Rwanda as a country. Let me set this up on my mount here. I don't know. Guys, just bear with me here. I'm trying to fix this because like holding this in my bare hand, it's probably not gonna last longer. But let me try. Let me see if I can just get this on here while I'm driving, so I have full control of the wheel, and at the same time talk to y'all. All right, this is a little bit better, but I still have to tighten this screw in the back. You know what? Let me park somewhere and get this done for you. Sorry guys, just bear with me. I'm trying to fix this because since I'm driving, I don't want to be distracted by this. All right. Come on, man. Is that better? All right. So, all right. Looks better. Let me turn down the seat because I'm sweating. It snowed overnight and it's really, really cold out here. I had to crank the heat up a little bit. Now I feel like I'm sweating already. All right, let me turn the heat down. Back down to 72. Yeah, down more. Yeah, we should be good to go. All right, guys, so let me throw my glasses back on. Awesome. Okay, guys, so as I was saying, there is this summit happening right now in Ethiopia. The focus is to talk about peace in eastern region of Congo, right? President Tshisekedi has made it clear that there will not be no negotiation between M23 and the Congolese government. The only reason that this M23 were so-called defeated, which never happened, because this is the stories that Kabila's regime wants you to believe, but it's far from being true. It's far from the truth, all right? President Tshisekedi made it abundantly clear: either they comply with what we expect from them, what we want them to do, or face consequences. There is no other way around. There have been multiple reports showing that how Rwandan military personnel have been killed in eastern region of Congo. Their bodies were sent back to Rwanda and they were buried there. And this keeps happening. In case a lot of Rwandans don't know, that Rwanda have been in war with Congo for the past 3 decades. This is the time now they should start asking themselves questions, all right? We personally do not have no intention to harm any of our neighboring country. Congo is one of the most hospitable countries in the world. Congo have received citizens from all over the place, including Rwanda. Rwanda today, we have accepted them. We have, provided them with shelter. When genocide were happening, Hutus, they were refugees in Congo, right? We give them shelter. We allow them opportunities to do business, unlike the oppression that they underwent under Paul Kagame's regime, and they're still under oppression. How many of Kagame's goons that he had sent to multiple countries to track down people who are against his regime, after they've done that, they kill these people. And this is not just happening. This has been happening for a very long time. In Canada, there are reports of Kagame's spies that are now being dismantled by even international government. Even like the same countries that support Kigali's regime, now they starting to see exactly what this guy is all about. You see, when you give somebody wings, they're able to fly on their own, right? Now it is their decision whether they want to land or they just want to keep flying. So the wings that these Western countries have given Rwanda, it makes them stubborn. It makes them feel that they can do anything and they can get away with it. And the only reason that Rwanda have gotten away with a lot of the things and atrocities that they have perpetrated in Congo is because their allies, who also happen to be one of the most powerful countries on earth, they actually behind this. They're supporting this. Congolese people are dying every day. More than 5 million Congolese. It's probably even more than that numbers. Those numbers are like the estimates that international or international organizations, groups have actually put out there. It might be more that weren't accounted for, and this is genocide. This is genocide. The mapping reports, it is a report actually published by the UN, but they are not being enforced because these people are pretty much protected by United States, France, United Kingdom, Germany, and so forth. So even when we sign bilateral contracts, whether it is financial or economics or whatever, it has actually never been beneficial to Congolese. It has always been more beneficial for those same countries coming here. But if we want to speak about peace in Congo, prosperity depends on how stable and peaceful the country is. Investors will not want to move to countries where war has been going on for a long time. But in case of Congo, we're talking about looting and theft of our resources, because these countries, these multinationals, they're there not because they don't know what's going on, because they are there because they want it to be this, they want it to be like that. They want to maintain the status quo. That's how they make the most money. How dare you want to get rid of Rwanda so that Congo have control of their own natural resources? It'll make them more powerful because they will regulate the mining sector, and then these multinationals will have to pay taxes properly, and then it'll give the Congolese government more money to build infrastructures and to develop the countries and actually distribute wealth with local populations. And this is what they do not want. When we talk about stability around the world or social economics, they know that the potential that we have, it'll make it so much easier and greater. Guys, I know I'm jumping all over the place because I'm it's not like I have, script and I'm going through over the scripts, but I'm just speaking out my mind about, the things that are happening in Africa and what Congo is a victim of. Gaddafi was toppled and killed, bringing America or Western democracy. Look at Libya now. Libya was more prosperous under so-called dictatorship of Muammar Gaddafi. After Muammar Gaddafi was assassinated actually, look at Libya. It became a slave trading market. It became a dump. It's just torn apart because Western countries have brought their goons. They have brought people who are serving their interests. Compare, like Libya, they have oil. The oil that they have, it developed their country to the extent that it did. The students, I can't attest to this, but these are stories that we've watched through documentaries. I don't know how true this is, but if you know a good version of what I'm about to say, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. We used to hear stories like students in Libya used to march through the streets protesting because they didn't have enough parking when they went to school. So meaning that students have vehicles that they drove to school, but sometimes like they weren't allowed to drive because of the traffic. That's how good and great Libya had developed the country's youth was so comfortable. Young people there, they were so comfortable that they didn't even think about moving to a Western countries to look for opportunities that they already had in their countries, and they properly exploited those resources. And look at them today. Libya is a dump. These Western countries, they're jealous of seeing other countries evolve. They're seeing other countries develop. They will not allow other countries to be in a position of power. China, if China is developing, they're putting out all the false claims, all the crazy stories about China to demonize them. We already know their tactics, and that's exactly what they're doing. Let's go back to Congo right now. While Congo is going through one of the most critical time of its history, you have Anthony Blinken, the United States Secretary of State, telling the Congolese government what to do. It wants to impose his will upon the Congolese government, saying that the Congolese government has to negotiate with M23, who's an extension of the Rwandan army. For what? To continue to live under occupation? No, that is not going to happen. What the president say, it is going to benefit the people of Congo. You can come directly to us, sign contracts directly with the Congolese government. You win, we win. You don't have to finance, you don't have to support a belligerent neighbor to destabilize our country, and then say that, oh, you know, go ahead and just have a conversation about this and make sure that, you know, things run smoothly between you. No, Mr. Secretary, that is not how that works. We want peace. Just the same way you fight wars outside of your borders because your population are not directly touched. That's why you don't know what it's like to live in a society where war is rampant, where people are displaced, where people don't even have anything to eat, where people are desperate. They got to a point where gunshots does not even spook them anymore. People could be playing chess while gunfires is going on. This is how bad this has gotten. You know what I'm saying? And let me take the time to actually give a shout out to the Congolese government under President Tshisekedi, because they are standing strong. They are saying, they're speaking out their mind and saying, listen, you will have to kill us to get these negotiations, to come to this negotiating table. As long as I'm alive, this will not happen. or they will just have to undergo the consequences. It's just as simple as that. That is me personally saying that if the Congolese government, with what we're going through right now, they should vote a law giving 40% of the Congo's economy to the military budget. Increase the military power, the military capability to actually fight against every single Congolese enemy. And on the top of it, it is time that African leadership comes to a realization that Western countries are not our reliable partners. We should join hands with other countries and sympathize with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger with what they are doing, because everybody's sick of this colonialism. Actually, it has never ended. Colonialism is still a thing. It is now us. We have to fight with other African leaders to understand that, okay, we all have a common enemy, and we should all join hands to fight against them. Look at countries who have now Russia on their side. All of the security concerns that they've had is handled. Central African, they have been under the same condition as Congo. Russia is the only solution. Russia is a true partner. If you sign a military contract with them, they will come, they will address the issue, they out. Unlike those other Western allies, they create these rebel groups. They arm them. They sell weapons to them. At the same time, they're selling weapons to the government of that country. They're making profits, selling weapons, and maintaining instability, and maintaining, continuing to destabilize the region, right? And at the end of the day, they say, oh, we need to increase in the presence of UN forces to fight against terrorism. But understand one thing, the UN forces in every nation, this is like the biggest one in the world. The UN forces in Congo is the biggest mission like ever. These forces are never deployed to Congo to fight alongside the Congolese military. They're only deployed in the Congo to actually like guard, to protect a mining site of these multinationals. That's what they're there for. They're not there to fight against the Congolese army. I mean, they're not there to fight alongside the Congolese army. Maybe some of you are smart enough to answer this question. How come UN forces, who are supposed to have one of the most sophisticated weaponry systems that are coming from first world countries, are unable to fight or against rebel groups? How is that possible? If somebody has a straight answer, I'm so curious to hear that in the comment section down below. That tells you that their mission is not to end the war in Congo. That is why the decision taken by the Congolese government to expel the UN forces out of Congo, it is the best course of action, because they will not have control over what is happening. They will not. The only negative side to the amount of years they've been in Congo is that they have actually learned and understood the jungle, the Congolese logistics, strategy. That's why we need to change and actually pick who we can collaborate and share one of the most sensitive military information. Because the moment that they learn what our plan of attack is, they notify these enemies, and they come attack us. That's how they end up taking and actually occupying certain territories. These people are traitors. They're not on our side. We need to understand that. It's just diplomatic languages. The Congolese governments are not stupid. The Congolese governments are not dumb. You know what I mean? They know exactly what is happening, but they have to make public statements to have their opinion believe that, or even these same countries that are our enemy saying that, okay, we know it's not true, like the UN is fighting alongside Congo, but the Congolese officials, they know that's not true. But diplomatic languages have to be different when spoken publicly, even when sending a message. But behind closed doors, they know exactly what's the real deal. But they're not gonna say it publicly like that, because these people get their feelings hurt so easily and quickly. They will come out with a statement within the next couple of minutes of you saying something negative about them. That's why the oppression that we have been undergoing with these so-called reliable partners who are Western countries, who, by the way, are the same countries who have colonized us, who have never acknowledged our rights as human beings, who at one point did not even consider black people as human beings. So how do you want their opinion to instantly change when they think in terms of economics they should always have an upper hand over us? In terms of economic prosperity, they should always have the most money. And you want to continue to do business with the same people who are looking at you the same way? Like, come on, you spit in my face, I spit back at yours, I turn around, you're not my enemy. I mean, you're not my friend, you're my enemy right off the bat. It's just as simple as that. All right, we have to come to this level. We have to come to a moment where African leadership have to change. All right, even with the protest that took place in Center City in Kinshasa, where protesters, they took down flags of United nation. They took down flags of multiple countries, including the US, Belgium, France, and all of that. Let them have it. And I'm actually glad that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Christopher Lutundula, he said that in one statement in the UN that it is in our constitution for Congolese to protest. And taking that away from them is going against our constitution. We can do whatever we can, but we can't stop them from doing that. I like his answers for it, because these countries, they want democracy, right? They had taught us democracy. They wanted us to stay away from Soviet Union, away from Russia. So you're gonna have to deal with it too. Because maybe if we were an authoritarian regime, we could probably stop them from doing that. But we live in a democracy, right? Bullshit. Democracy is a whole bunch of fucking when I get all excited, I just start cussing. And excuse my language, but I just don't want to get any more excited than I'm already am right now. But I'm trying to keep this professional, because I know this is just going to be more productive conversation between us Congolese. We have to be able to read between the lines. If you listen to speeches that Paul Kagame has been giving lately, his tone has changed. You can tell this is now somebody who's afraid. This is now somebody who does not want to take the blame for himself. And it's not only the Congo who is against him. We have Burundi now, Tanzania. A lot of countries are now coming up against them, because these countries have at one point collaborated with each other in the past against Congo. Now they understand what is actually happening. Now Rwanda is losing more support from even other neighboring countries. The president of Burundi came to Congo, right? Is actually expressing his sympathy, with the Congolese government about the atrocities that are happening, and they know Paul Kagame is directly against it. How do you want me to understand that Paul Kagame repeatedly say that instability or war in Congo has anything to do with him or his government? Okay, fair enough. What do you have to do with the M23 groups? Why can't you let the M23 leader, because we don't know the M23 leader per se, right? So why would you want to have a word like favoring them? Like, why do you want to speak on behalf of them if that is in fact a Congolese a terrorist group? Why do you want to have a saying that? Don't you think it makes more sense to let Congolese deal with their own internal matters by themselves? But somehow when it comes down to bombarding their positions with this new weaponry system and support that the Congolese government have bought for our national army now is bothering them. They are now putting out statements saying that they're condoning these bombardments. No, they're not condoning. They know that they're losing their troops. That's why they're freaking out. They know, okay, this guy is a real deal. Is really bringing the Congolese government to its military capability, able to carry out military assaults against us and actually, like, destroy our army and destroy our infrastructures. We are able to do that, and President Tshisekedi has made it clear. He's like, all right, I mean, peace, it will come at all costs. If it means war, we go to war. If it means diplomatic talks, we will do it. But whatever it is that will end this war, I'm all for it. And this is the language that these people will understand better. They will listen to us more when we are using force against them. Someone who's belligerent will only understand belligerent messages. If you want to go through diplomatic, route while they're bombarding you, you look sassy. They're actually a bully. They think they can do whatever they want to do with you. But when you stand up, now you show them who's the boss. They're going to think twice. Paul Kagame now, I saw some tweet on the internet which was ridiculous. One of Paul Kagame's oh my God. Yo, this guy is saying that Burundi, Congo, I don't know if in South Africa, it was another country, they are now trying to do a regime change in Kigali. Yo, do you think Congo has interest to get themselves involved into what's happening in Kigali? Kigali has actually interest in knowing what's going on in Congo because they were like the #1 producer of cobalt and coltan in Africa because of the resources that they're stealing from Congo. Show me the geographical map that shows Rwanda having soil in their earth, having soil in their soil. I mean, having like resources in their soil, whether it is coltan, cobalt, or whatever. Prove me wrong. The only way, there is no other way around. The only way they have been able to become a producer of these resources is because they have their rebel groups working for them to keep regions unstable. Thus making it possible to extract the natural resources, taking them to Rwanda, and from Rwanda selling them to different places. It get rerouted to different destinations. That's the reality. Paul Kagame spilled the beans. He said it. He actually said it, without meaning to. He did, So it is time for Congolese now to take the matters into their own hands. I am following the stories as closely as possible because we will not continue to be bullied by a small country that is the size of, I don't even know what province I can compare it to Rwanda. Congo Central is probably bigger than Rwanda. Congo Central is probably bigger than Rwanda. I have to check the map and probably see what country, like what province in Congo can be compared to Rwanda. And you want to tell me and you want to convince me that this country it has the military capability to like invade Congo? You're out of your goddamn mind. If there was a war between Congo and Rwanda, we could probably take Rwanda in a matter of days. We actually go there, we take Kagame out of the power, we lock up all of his government officials that are against Congo, and we free their population. But the reason we're not going to do that because we're not imperialist maniac who are jealous of other people's development. We are the people who learn from other people's success. If you're successful, we will learn from you, we will encourage you, and we will want to know what you've done so we could do better and probably reach that same level. The Congolese has never been in any way, shape, or form jealous of Rwanda because they ain't got nothing that would attract us. Ain't nothing for us in Rwanda, but they have so much interest in coming in Congo, a country that lives off of international aid, and you want to compare that country to Congo? Like, come on, wake the fuck up. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. I'm gonna be, going live talking about what's going on in the eastern region of Congo and keeping you guys updated on what's the news, because I ain't no journalist. All right, I'm just going to be giving my opinion as a fellow Congolese, and I think it's my duty as a Congolese patriot to talk about what's happening in Congo, because it is in our interest to know what is going on. You understand what I'm saying? In the meantime, stay tuned. For those of you that watch my farming in Congo journey, I have another video that I'm dropping probably tomorrow, but I still got a little bit of the editing to do before I release the video. So keep those alerts turned on for when that video is released. All right. So thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. Until the next one, happy Saturday. See you soon. Peace. I'm going to work overtime. You already know what that means. Working overtime, making a little more money, continue to finance my farming project in Kinshasa, because the goal, it is to move back. And it's only going to happen when the brother feels like the amount of money that I'm making here farming, it is actually paying off. And then the brother will pack the stuff and we'll be back in Congo, so we can do everything from the ground and manage the farm, run the farm, and prove you guys that you can make it in Congo. All right? It's still in the working process. I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of things, the pig races that I've came across, those that are developed in South Africa. I have made connection with a guy who owns a farm in Congo. He imports them from there. They're a little bit expensive, but I am just going to, to buy it, to make an investment, and I will share that with you guys. So there is a lot more interesting thing coming to the channel, so just stay tuned. All right, we'll talk about it. All right, guys, now for real, peace out. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy Saturday. See you next time.